Hello everybody, this is Niclas Huschenbeth and today I would like to show you one of the craziest, most ridiculous chess games that I've ever seen, and I'm sure that you have ever seen too. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Let's get into it. Here we have the two players, Christophe and Loo with the white pieces against Hesseling with the black pieces. I was trying to figure out his first name but I couldn't, unfortunately. But before we begin, we had a survey going, and the survey was about a comment of the day feature, and here are the results. 420 people participated when I made this video, and well, first of all, thank you to everybody who participated. Let's see what the results say. In total, 77% of the people said I should keep it, whereas 23% said I should get rid of it. So since it's a pretty clear majority of people who like the feature, I will definitely keep it. And as you can also see, many people said I should find a good balance between comments that are praising my videos and comments that are suggestions or questions. So I will try to do that and also decide for myself that I won't have a comment of the day in every single video, because, well, then I might just not include that great comments just for the sake of it. So I'll do the other way around and include the comments that really are interesting and worth reading out to you here. All right, I hope that's a solution that everybody is fine with. Otherwise, well, I'm sorry, but not really. And now let's get to the game. So this was played in a weekend tournament in Holland. And honestly, I don't know much about both players, but I saw this game and I decided I want to show it to you. It was played in 1983, by the way. It is the Traxler variation, here marked by the move Bishop c5, which is not really a sound move. d5 is the main line. Bishop c5 is the Traxler variation, and it promises a lot of complications and crazy variations, as we'll see. Knight takes f7. Just in case you ever face it, the easier way to play is just take with the bishop and then retreat with the bishop. Knight takes f7 is inviting the complications to follow. Now bishop takes f2. This is the whole idea of the Traxler gambit, and black is luring out the white king into the open, and white readily accepts the sacrifice and steps out, and this is very dangerous for white. Queen e7. Now white decided, oh, okay, I'm not going to take another piece here on e4, that would be too much, so he played the move c3. But you know what, black played knight d4 anyway. That was also not necessary, but maybe black said, okay, let me have as many pieces hanging as possible in my position, and he played knight d4, very interesting. And now white said, okay, well, you have two knights hanging in the center, just let me grab one of those. And he took the one on e4, which was a very brave decision, because the king obviously is your most important piece. If it's checkmate, you lose. And having the king right in the center of the board with still so many pieces, it's very, very risky. And indeed, black is doing pretty fine here. Check, king e3. Queen f4 check, king d3, and here black could give a perpetual. He could play the queen to f5, then bring the queen back, it would be perpetual, but he wanted more and he played courageously d5, sacrificing more material to bring the bishop out and to have the bishop join. So it takes, bishop f5 check, and the king steps out to c4, allowing black to give a discovered check, but black doesn't have really an obvious one. So he finds a better move. He plays b5. Well played. The king has to step further up and get further closer to the opponent's pieces. And wow, the sun just went away and I got very dark. Well, that's not great, but okay. It's not about me, it's about the game anyway. So black played queen h4. Nice move to play queen e7, and indeed this is a checkmate threat right now. Queen e7. Now knight takes e5 is stopping the checkmate, because now after queen e7 white could take the knight on d4, but black played correctly. He castled queenside. Bring another piece into a game, the rook, and you can see the bar on the left is all the way in black's favor, completely black, and black is completely winning here. White went c4. So maybe for a moment let's understand what's happening anyway. What if white takes on d4? Then black can take on d5, king takes, rook d8 check, bring more pieces into attack, and black will checkmate very soon. And all the extra material here just doesn't help white because the material is not participating. You see, all those pieces, they're just on the first rank and they are not participating in the game and not helping to protect the king. That's also always something you can consider in your own games. You can sacrifice material, and as long as your opponent's material, extra material, is not involved in the game, is not participating, well, it doesn't really count. So that's always something to consider, how active are your pieces and also your opponent's pieces. So white played c4 to defend against this threat of rook takes d5, but black actually played it anyway, and it's a good move. C takes d5 and rook d8. Now knight c3. And now black went knight c6, which is a very nice move, but not the best move. The best move would have been to go a5 here. This is actually opening up the threat of bringing the queen to b4 before playing knight e6. Well, actually that didn't quite work. So first black has to play knight e6 and then queen b4. That's the plan here, and that's difficult to cope with. If a3, now queen f6, a5 also took the b4 square away, and black threatens queen b6, and it's going to be over very soon. White can take on d4, but this is quite a nice checkmate now. So a5 was the way to go for black here, but he played knight c6. Also a very cute move to play. But here white had a defense available. He didn't find it, which is, I find this quite hilarious actually. So the move he played was queen to a4, which is a stunning move to make, but it's not a good move. He had the right idea, but he had to do it on the other side. He had to play queen to g4. That would have saved him here, and the position becomes quite unclear again. If black takes, then white can take on c6, and black doesn't have to checkmate on c4 available. This is the whole idea of queen a4 or queen g4. You want to stop this checkmate on c4. And white has a lot of material, and if his king is safe, then he's back in the game. So this is quite unclear. And after queen f2 check, white goes d4, bishop takes g4, and knight takes c6 once again. And also this is quite unclear. Maybe black's better because the white king is still so open, but okay, everybody's game for sure. So queen a4. And here black played queen e7 check, but he could have also taken the queen. Knight takes c6 and then bishop d3. Okay, but this is also not too clear. It's also not too clear. Black is better here, but okay, who knows? This is still a pretty big mess. So queen e7 was actually good, but after king takes b5, now black made a mistake. And, well, position still remains pretty difficult, so it's not a surprise. And he played queen takes e5. If knight takes e5, he would be winning here. For example, queen a6 check, king b8, desperately trying to bring the king to safety, but the king is just way too far out, and black goes rook d6 here, bringing the rook into action. And white is up a rook, but like I said, those rooks are not participating, and black is winning. After queen takes e5 though, it's white who's winning now, because, well, his extra material might count for something, right? And he plays the correct move, queen c4. Not taking on c6, but playing queen c4, knight d4 check, and king a4. Better would have been to go to a5, but also king a4, still white has a clear advantage, bishop d7. And now the king steps forward again. Why not backward? Why not to a3? Well, there's knight c2 and black has a perpetual. Or actually take the rook. So also king a5 is correct. And now knight c6, making use of this pin. King a6. Very brave, you have to say, very brave. Check. And here white was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to run all the way to a8. This is just suicide to play king takes a7. He needed to come back to a5 and then after knight c6 check, play differently. Play here and go to b4. And here now go to a5. And white still has good winning chance. But okay, that's also a tough line to play for sure. Anyways, king takes a7 was a bit too much. So could black punish him? Black went c6, that's fine. A little bit simpler would have been to go queen d6 because the threat of queen b6 or queen a6 is tough to spot, tough to stop, not to spot, not so tough to spot, and black wins. Anyways, c6 happened. Now white is back in the game. He plays knight b5, stopping queen c7. That was the idea of playing c6. Bishop f5. And now white is winning again, as you can see. Another turnaround in this game. D takes c6 would be a good move now. White went d4, which is also possible. Rook d7, king a8. And now white is completely winning, but let's see what happens. Queen e7. D takes c6. Attacking the rook. There's no checkmate, the knight is covering it. Okay, alright. Bishop e4 is pinning the pawn. And here, okay, d5 is also fine. Would have been also moved like queen g8 is also good, but d5 it's fine. Takes. Queen takes, rook takes. But this already made it more complicated than it needed to be, giving up the queen. But white had seen this knight a7 check. Probably he quite liked this move to then bring the bishop into play. King d8. But now, once again, white overdoes it with his king. He takes another piece of b8, which is just crazy. He needed to bring out the bishop, or maybe even rook e1, but bishop f4 looks like a very sensible move, and then get the rooks into a game. White is up material, the king is kind of safe with the knight on a7, white threatens to take on b8. This is winning for white. But white takes on b8, this is just a big mistake, because his king is not having enough protective pieces around. So now black is winning again. But not after this move. After this move, it's all white. So it can really change from one move to the next here. The winning way was to go queen b4 check. King has to go to a8 and then king c7. Having both these ideas. And bishop f4 doesn't really help. Black just takes, still threatens rook d8. And it's checkmate in a few moves here. After queen c7, king a8, rook a5, white is just in time. He has one move here to save him, and that move is bishop g5 check, giving up the bishop, but it's more important to get the rooks into a game here. That's what he does. By the way, not bishop e3, that would be checkmate in one move, because the knight is pinned. So bishop g5, rook takes, and now the rooks come to action with tempo. Rook to d7, and now the white king is finally safe, also with the knight right around. We all know that saying, the knight is the best friend of the king, and here and now proves true. And white, of course, has an attack going against the black king here, and also has a strong pawn on c6, so that's why he's completely winning. Rook c5, now c7. If takes, then white check, queens with check, queen g4, rook f7 check, making use of the same idea. King e8, and now b4, rook c2, a4. White just decides to push the pawns because black's counterplay is very slow and he doesn't really have any chance against the king. b5, h3, and now knight c6 to block the c file from the rook. h2, and here white played rook takes g7 and black resigned as there's the checkmate threat, and if black takes, white will queen and checkmate, and getting an extra queen also does not help here at all. So that was it. Insane game with a lot of turnarounds, roller coaster, first black's winning, white is winning, going back and forth. But I just like this this very bold journey of the white player with his king out in the center all the way to a8, and eventually the king was safe on a8 and the black king was the one in danger. But okay, it needed some fortune to make this happen. Alright you guys, I hope you enjoyed this game as much as I enjoyed presenting it to you, and I'll see you again very soon. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.